Hey everyone, great to see all of you. Today we're checking out another Oasis classic. It's been far too long since the last one. It's all getting a little bit too emotional for my liking, as today we're checking out Stop Crying Your Heart Out.
Take what you need and be on your way and stop crying your heart.
Alright, so we're going to start by checking out the chord progression, and it's a nice simple one. We've only got a handful of chords to play. We're going to start off with B minor, and we just want to mimic the keys part. So we just want to play one strum for every beat of the bar. So it should sound like this. If you want to make that chord a little bit more interesting, we could add in the open E string, and that adds a really nice colour. It just goes like this. Either way, we're now going to move on to the next chord, which is going to be really similar. We're just going to drop down the bass note this time. So the lowest note is going to be our B note, which is the 2nd fret of our A. That's now going to become the open A string, and the rest of the chord is going to remain the same. So it should go like this. And that also works with the open E string as well. Either way, we're then going to move on to an E major, or we could do an E7. Both sound pretty great for this chord progression. And then we're going to move into a G. At this point, we can then start to repeat the chord progression. So just as an added extra, there's a little piano melody which gets played during the first verse. It's very subtle, but it's definitely there. It just goes like this. So that's just 3rd fret of the B, going to the 2nd, back to the 3rd, and then the 4th of the G. It makes a bit more sense when I'll show you the example now. As we move into the chorus, the rhythm is going to start to pick up. We're going to start with a D sus2. And that'll be really nice for us to move into our next chord, which is going to be an A sus4. And again, that'll be really nice for us to move into our next chord, which will be an E minor 7. We're then going to do a passing chord, and we could call that just a D with an F sharp in the bass. So I've got my index finger there at the 2nd fret of the E, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G as well, and then also our ring finger is just staying planted there once again on our 3rd fret of our B. and then we'll move into a G. So that'll be the first time round. We're then going to go around again to our D sus2. This time we're going to go to either our E major or our E7. Then over to our G, and we're just going to hold on that until we go back into the verse. So together it should sound like this. As we come out of the first chorus, there's a great bit of lead guitar which happens. It just goes like this. So we want to make sure we've got a great overdrive sound for this one. We're going to be starting at the 3rd fret of our B, moving to the 2nd fret of our E, then open, 2nd fret of the E, and back to the 3rd fret of the B. It should just go like this. When we come out of that riff, we're going to play the 3rd fret of the B, and then bring over our ring finger to play the 4th fret of the G. But this time we're going to play all the strings together. That's G string, B string, and E string. It should just sound like this. We're very quickly afterwards going to do a reverse of that. We're going to play the E string, then B string, then G string, holding that shape. As the chords go round, we're then going to play the open A string, then play the G string, then E string, B string, G string. So it goes a little bit like this. And then we're going to do the same thing with the open E string. We're then going to play the G note as the guitar chords go with it. We're then going to slide that up to the A, and then go into the next chorus. I should also just mention that repeating riff, that also happens at the end of the 2nd chorus as well, but this time it's going to go all the way through in the instrumental, right the way into the next chorus. As we move into the instrumental, and if we've got the spare guitar handy, we can play the string solo as well, and that's quite a fun melody to play. We're going to do it as octaves, but I'll just show you the melody first, so we're not getting confused with where we're going to go. So we're going to start at the 17th fret of our E, going down to our 15th, to the 14th, down to the 12th, and then the 10th, and that just goes like this. We're then going to climb back up to the 12th, then the 14th, then we're going to hold back on our original position, which is our 17th, and then go up 2 frets to the 19th. The melody just goes like this. We're now going to turn that into octaves, so our pinky finger is going to go to the starting note at the 17th fret of our E, and then we're going to bring our index finger over to the G string at the 14th fret. As we move into the final chorus, alongside the acoustic chords, we could add in some electric guitar arpeggios as well, and that just sounds like this. So we're going to start off our D sus2 at the 3rd fret of our B, moving to the 2nd fret of our E, open, 2nd fret of our E, and back to the 3rd of the B. We're then going to move into our A sus4. So we're just going to play that straight up and down, picking the notes individually. We're then going to move into our E minor, so we're going to play the open E string, open G, then open E, that's high E string, and 3rd fret of our B. So that sounds like this. We're then going to do our passing note, which is our 2nd fret of our E, going to our 3rd, so we're moving into our G chord now, and we're going to do a really similar pattern. It just goes like this. So we're going to play the G note, then open G string, open E, and then 3rd fret of our B, and open G again. Put them together and we get this. As we near the end of that final chorus, the chords are going to start to jump between E minor and G, and we can continue to do our arpeggios as well, and that just sounds like this. So this is really similar, starting with our open E, open G, open high E, and then 3rd fret of our B. Then the passing note from the 2nd fret of our low E to the G. Then we're going to do the open G string, open high E string, 3rd fret of our B. Then we're going to go back to our low G. So it goes like this. So the last thing to talk about is just going to be the harmonics that get played at the end of the last chorus, and they just go like this. So So we're going to be doing those harmonics over the 7th fret of our G, 7th fret of our B, and then 12th fret of our E. We're going to start by doing the G 7th fret, then the B 7th fret, then we're going to go to the 12th fret of our E, and then back again, B string, 7th fret, and then G, and so on and so forth. So it just sounds like this slowly. The harmonics are going to come back for one last time, and that's going to be during the outro, where we're going to play a slightly different melody. We're going to start at the 7th fret of our G, 7th fret of our B, and 12th fret of our E. So all of our usual notes, but we're going to play them in a slightly different rhythm. We're then going to play that again. We're then going to go to play them a third time, but we're going to add a little bit extra on the end of it. So we're going to go from the 7th fret of the G, to the 7th fret of the B, to the 12th fret of the E, but then we're going to go to the 12th fret of the B, to the 7th of the G, and then 7th of the B, to 12th of the E. So it sounds like this. We're then going to start that process over again. And right at the end of the second time, we're going to go back to the 12th fret of the B again, and the last note is going to be the 7th fret of the G. And that sounds like this. Okay, so that was my lesson on Stop Crying Your Heart Out by Oasis. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on my next lesson.